So this reading is going to be on Rihanna and R9 that people are always like wondering about and her next album and what's going on. Why doesn't she release music no more? Why isn't she like excited about this? Why is she lying about the release? And why is she just stalling and postponing all that? And just all the talk about her album. I want to see what's going on with Rihanna and just her energy when it comes to her music career. And we can go from there. I've never actually like done any thorough reading on Rihanna ever since I started the channel. But before then, I used to do like lots of readings on her relationship and then like whatever it was that took place between her and Jay Z and Beyonce and just the whole your energy. It was always like a lot to be catching on to. Oh, so yeah, we're starting off in a strong way, I'm gonna say. So yeah, the first card that I got it is like the Empress in reverse, which is showing that she isn't too happy. She isn't too happy. Like, okay, let's see, is this the general energy or just ugh, when it comes to her career and whatnot. But I was talking about her career, but we're gonna go from here. She isn't too happy about certain situations that are taking place into her life, or certain circumstances that she's having to deal with. There's something here about feeling like she's always having to walk on eggshells around certain situations and around certain shit that keeps happening in her life. And there's also something here about her missing motherhood and her always like yearning for the time to be with her babies. And I can tell that at times like she's even though like she's outside and shit and she's having fun and she is being seen and spotted everywhere and all that stuff, she's having that type of like clinginess that newly found mothers have with their babies. And there's something here about like not wanting to leave her kids or like her children behind her or just leaving them alone for a long time period. There's something here about that, like something very present about, always wanting to be around her babies and not wanting to miss out on, like their first steps, on their first word or like the first thing that they always do. She doesn't want to be an absent parent. She is focusing on motherhood and parenthood. She's focusing on that. She's focusing on motherhood and parenthood and wanting to, like be there and focusing on how to always like evolve herself as a mother and just be a better mother than whatever it is that she was facing before then or back then in her childhood. Because there's something about like childhood trauma. I don't know what's because I don't I love artists as artists and there are like certain artists that I just like genuinely connect with and I feel like and I keep feeling their energy in my energy field and whatnot. But there are certain artists who are like artists I love them as a human being, sure, of course, but I don't be so in tune with like a lot of their lives and like lots of their issues. So we're gonna just have to go in blind like we always do most of the time. Like the two most artists I am always like heavily interested in their lives are Beyonce and Nicki. So yeah, I've always like been a Rihanna stan, but you know, to a certain extent. But as I was saying, she vowed to be like a best or like the best mother her children can ask for, and she's trying to focus on that and trying to narrate or really like refocus her energy and like her purpose around her relationship now, or like her children, or just like her motherhood and everything that comes with that. And she knows that like doing shit like not shit like that, but like doing stuff like that and doing this and focusing on stuff like that comes with a price. With a price that her well, I'd say like career has to pay because this is what I'm literally hearing. She knows that it comes with shit like that and she knows that it comes with other commitments being just like thrown in the back burner of her head and shit like that. And when it comes to her career, I hate to say that, but when it comes to her career, like her creativity is definitely like taking the hits. It took the hits for the longest time, but it definitely does look like she's finally finding, excuse me, she's finally finding that newfound or like newly surged passion again to finally like be able to create. So when she, oh my God, I'm sorry. So when she is saying that she is, creating again and trying to find like the best tune and trying to see who is going to sing what and who is going to do this and who is going to produce that or who is going to do this and that, she was being truthful for once because she's finally seeing eye to eye with herself when it comes to the music. Like she is, of course, she is anxious because of all the creativity blocks that she was, oh, because of all the creative blocks that she was facing, or like that she was dealing with, and now for her to have like that surge of like newfound inspiration and just creativity is kind of like hitting her hard like a block. Like, I gotta, like I gotta do this and do that and do that. But she's needing to like refocus everything before she gets overwhelmed and like overwhelm herself and her senses even more and like she would just crash out or like lose all that shit again. But she's definitely working on some new stuff. I'm hearing like new hits, and I'm seeing her in the studio, and I'm seeing like producers around her. She's definitely trying to do that shit. After she gave birth, like she's still going to try to give birth again, or like she's still going to try to get pregnant, just so like she would have her daughter, or like she would have her a baby girl. But um I do see that when she got pregnant, so like when she had her baby, like her second baby and whatnot, tapping into music has become a little bit more easier for her than it ever was before. Because back then, like when they would ask her and shit like that, she would easily like dodge the bullets or just like divert the attention, like who sent you and shit like that. But now she's finally at that stage where she's being more open about talking about like next era and talking about like the album and talking about just giving them more information, just like a little bit of more information to kind of like soothe the anticipation and like the agitation that her fans are having. She sees how people like she sees how her fans are making fun of that and just like finding light into the situation, and that's something that she appreciates. Like she even like laughs or like giggles at some shit that she sees, but at the same time she knows that she gotta do something. She knows that because like she's seeing how people are always saying that there's always like a next new Rihanna in the making, and it's finally starting to it's finally starting to aggravate her or like starting to get to her, and now she's feeling like she's having to do something about it, even though she sees how much she has established and how far she has come into her career, and even how many records she has broken even while sitting down or like being in the back seat and just letting other people have their shine or just really like not doing much anymore. She knows like her power, she knows her impact, and that's something that she knows. Like people are not going to deny that shit, but finally seeing how people are like trying to sneakily one up on her or just sneakily trying to snatch her place or snatch her records is what I'm hearing, and trying to see what it's gonna take for them to be able to Miriam trying to be able to manufacture like a new Rihanna. That is something that is finally like getting her and just making her feel a little bit agitated and aggravated. Yep, yep. Exactly. Making her feel a little bit agitated and aggravated because like how dare they? Like I've come this far and I've done a lot of shit that I was like punked for and like laughed at and even like canceled or like tried to be canceled for and shit like that. Just for them to try to call any next bitch that is coming up the next me. You know what I'm hearing? I'm also hearing like the Nicki Minaj song LOC. I do know that Rihanna be listening to Nicki. I would say that she listens to songs like that or just like so dripping down the do this pussy too. Danny Glover, LLC, Fuck the Club Up, Everybody. Like some songs that are like hype. You know, and the fact that like she can relate to the fact that she can finally or like fully actually relates even more to the LSC song by Nicki Minaj, like trying to make it a new Nicki or the Factory, is definitely speaking volumes and telling a lot. Because like since when Rihanna is just so easily kind of well, not so easily, but like is kind of like having to prove a point again or just like having to say something about the album and just really giving someone a clue about the album or saying something. It's not, of course, like very direct, but it is subtle enough for people to actually like kind of see it. Some people believe and some people just saying, oh, that she's lying and she's just saying shit like that, just because she likes to lie and she's making fun of what people say and her fans and whatnot. But the truth is, there is a lot of sneaky shit going on, and she is finally kind of like seeing it or just choosing to kind of really tune into the bullshit to see what is going on and to see it for herself because she was not believing that. She found this very confusing. Like, why the fuck are y'all trying to do that now? And the other energy, like responding back, is like, well, you've been silent and you've been sitting down for way too long. So what the fuck do you expect us to do? Like, obviously they're going to try to recreate you, and it's not like something new or out of the ordinary because they are doing that to like Nikki. They did that also to Beyonce. They did this also to like other people, even like Aaliyah, like other pop stars that made like that stepped the game basically, and had a lasting long impact. Everybody's like, oh, this is the new Aaliyah, this is the new MJ, this is the new Beyonce, this is the new Madonna, this is the new Nicki Minaj, this is the new Rihanna. Everybody just wants everybody wants a recreation of people who are still here just so they can mold them and shape them into whatever versions and into whatever dolls that they want, because they can't obviously handle the real thing. Like, I'm gonna compare like the Holy Trinity, the ones that we have in now, because I'm a Holy Trinity stan, so we're gonna use them as an example. Like they can't handle no Beyonce, they can't handle no Nicki Minaj, they can't handle no Rihanna. They're still here, and they're still gonna be here. Like Beyonce said in Survivor, I'm still gonna be here. They're still gonna be here, no matter what the fuck they're gonna do. It ain't gonna be like fatal. It ain't gonna be like fertile. They're not gonna make it work because they're here and they're here to dominate, and that is something that Rihanna is finally like starting to catch on. Like at first she did not pay mind to any of the bullshit, but now she's finally having to, or she's finally having enough and deciding to actually like make her comeback. So is Rihanna going to be making her comeback? I just need a yes or no, honestly, right now, before I go back to what I was saying. Is Rihanna going to be making her comeback? Well, yeah, because yep, see, because there's lots of hidden agendas that she's finally, as I said, like she is finally kind of seeing the truth into whatever situation that is really making her. I've read in some comments before, especially like the latest thing or like the latest trending thing with I don't want to say like the latest flavor of the month because that's that's not nice. But with the Tyler artist, the Tyler girl, everybody's saying that there was a tweet that went viral that said, I don't want to say this, but she's definitely giving Rihanna. She's definitely trying to do this and that. So let me see. Is Rihanna? Did Rihanna see all the comparisons with Tyler? Sorry, and Rihanna see the comparisons of both ladies with her and Tyler. I would hope that I'm saying her name right. Yeah, she did. She ain't pleased with that. That is also is it? Yeah, it's also one of the reasons why she's like, of course, like Rihanna is like I'm unbothered, but at the same time, like this is something that is also agitating her because like, why do they always have to say something like that? Why can't they just let other women just like carve their own name out instead of just like comparing them to me or like comparing them to like the other next bitch or like to the other next best thing? Like, why do they always have to do that shit? And like Rihanna is like all about I'm changed now, I'm more grown, I'm not gonna be stepping into my old ways. But if it's gonna keep going, like if they actually like gonna tell her, like ask her about something, she might say like a bitchy kind of response. But she's all about like change and she's all about growth now that she is like a mother and a newfound mommy. But she's still going to talk her shit if she is needing to. But as I was saying, yes, this is something that has also like fueled her even more, and like really, I'm hearing her like being very aggravated, or just like very irritated. Like, why would they do that, or like, why would they say that? Just like, why they always have to say shit like that? And it's fine if this is like something that is going to be triggering Rihanna to make other music, then oh my god, Lord, they should have been doing this for so long, or like such a long time ago. And I feel like, okay, one of the other reasons why Rihanna is actually like aggravated even more by this is like she can see herself somehow a little bit in Tyler, but she can see how there is a little bit of an influence there in her. Like she sees how she influenced her. Like she sees that fashion wise because like copying like the looks or just it's still on brand for the girl, but you can see that there is like the Rihanna resemblance or like the Rihanna stamp, and like she sees that, and that's kind of just making her feel like okay, cute. She's inspired, but at the same time, like okay, you're inspired, but people like don't have the right to actually like say that we two are the same because like I don't want to say that Rihanna has like a superiority complex, but she's like I'm better. I'm more like I'm much more of a bad bitch. I'm a black woman with pretty pretty eyes and like with everything I had to do it like for myself. I had to do a lot of shit and I had to prove myself extra harder. Now these girls generations like this generation of girls have it like has it in a different way, and they don't suffer like they don't go through what we go through. The most they're getting is like online hate, but we had it different. I've been here way before her and I've had it different than her, and for them just make all those comparisons, nah, like this has to come to a stop, like this has to come to a halt. And that's just something that is finally like pushing her to like um reconsider some of her choices when it comes to her career, trying to work on shit, trying to, like pick beats, trying to work harder or like trying to do something, whether be it money wise or like something fulfilling emotionally for her that will help her find her passion once again, or that will help her finally, find the right footing when it comes to the next move or like the next approach in her singing career, you know? That is also something to like notice or just really realize again. But the thing is like she knows that there are the people who are behind her that are heavily pushing this narrative or like this agenda in order for them to either like spike her or like get a reaction out of her. And until now, up till now, she is still like very cool and calm and collected and giving like shallow responses, that are not giving away everything and that are not giving all the hints that she is aware of everything and that she is like preparing herself to make a comeback. Because like when they ask, is Rihanna ready to make a comeback, she doesn't know the proper answer herself. Yes, because she is still worn down. She is not as confident as her in her craft and in her art as she used to be like before, like as she used to be before. But she is finally starting to find that balance when it comes to her career and when it comes to like the next move. Like she's getting somewhere. There is something about like you know her making her old sounds and like newer sounds come together, like a mix up of all that shit and trying to find something. There is something about that one song that was trending. I think it was Man Down or something. That and Ponder Play. Those are some songs I am seeing in my head or like I'm hearing in my head mostly. And Whoop, like making something like the old stuff or like the like her older herself in order for her to, okay, when people are inspired by their old songs or like older sounds in order for them to like find newer things or like find something new or try to like recreate it all but like with another newer twist. That is something that she is like doing. Like she's listening to her older songs, trying to find herself again. Like she lost a little bit of her touch there in order for her to find herself again. Because I'm trying not to say something like she lost herself. In order for her to find herself again, she had to lose herself all around her. Like she had to lose her sound, and now she's finally like doing all that shit. I'm definitely seeing something about like camp fashion and something about like pop music, something that has to do with like similar visuals to Lady Gaga, like in the one era. I don't know, like the one where the album cover has like lots of black and whites and whatnot. There's definitely something like that, like a rebellious era again, but definitely like more grown and more sultry and like sophisticated now that she changed and she grew older a little bit and more mature and everything. So like she has to twist her way around certain stuff but she is still going to give, the classy, sultry, sensual, sexy vibe that she always gives. So when it comes to her career, Rihanna is finally seeing like how people trying to um, push out different plots. Just for the funds of it and different agendas and doing all that shit, and that is something that is finally making her snap out of her reverie and making her snap out of everything else that is kind of still holding her back, or that was still um putting a stop or like putting a halt into everything else that was happening around her. So there is that too. So let's see, can we get more Oriana in her career? Yeah, it's finally time. Like the timing finally feels right for her to snap back at a lot of shit that she has been facing in the industry. She's going to be coming. She's going to be coming and she's going to be taking action because she finally feels like, she had enough and now the time feels right for her to do shit like that. And if she decides to act on impulse, it sounds like there is something here, but like impulsively doing something, impulsively thinking or like reacting as a response to something that she saw or like that she's hearing. And it definitely gave her that type of angry push to push herself forward and to move ahead. And it's definitely going to shake up a lot of shit and shake up a lot of other plans that she had, or really going to shake up the world again. And there is something here about like family, and there is something here about shaking up, like a lot of other stuff because she's finally going to be focusing on one thing again. But she's going to try to like divide her time in the right doses between her family, her other stable foundations of work, and her singing career again. Because once she decided to focus on, being a mogul in the beauty world, she had put her career behind her. So now she's going to try to find a balance between that. At first, it might be hard for her to actually do so, or like to actually find the right balance in all that. But once she's going to get the right footing and whatnot, it's going to be much better, and it's going to get better for her when it comes to all that because it's going to be something that she's going to give her to put her energy into and to give her all in and to put her all into as well. But yeah, there's something here about like trying to, finally say, okay, I've had enough. I'm gonna make a comeback in this shady fucking industry that has taken a lot of my years, a lot of my youth, and lots of my energy, and lots of myself from me. I'm finally going to have to put a stop to it because they've been doing a lot and they've been saying a lot. And now I finally am able to pick up the keys that I threw behind me or that they threw my way. I'm finally going to be taking like the bait and I'm going to do it. But if she reacts out of impulse, she just has to really know what she's gonna be doing and study all those moves before she makes a decision. Because after that, she's gonna open all those other gates for herself, and it might overwhelm her because like all those boundaries and all that piece that she was working on for those last years is going to be like are going to be like a little bit disturbed and shaken up because like once she's gonna be deciding to put herself out there again as an artist, then she is like all her privacy places. Oh my god, sorry. All of her privacy and all of her boundaries are gonna be tested a lot. So yeah, there's definitely here. There's definitely some type of hoping, and like healing and trying to hope for the best and trying to do all this. I don't want to sit there like some sorts of water rituals. I don't know. There's something here about water like rituals, and there's something here about like manifesting the best, and there's something here about like doing something that has to do like with enchantment and magic also in the picture. There's also something here with like paying her dues, and just really like doing what she knows is going to be best for her and is going to be benefiting her on the longer run, because if not, they're going to be snatching something from her, and she knows better than to just like let them actually come at her or just like do something. So she's having to take the initiative to actually do so and take control of this whole thing and just be on her toes. I know I'm saying this a lot. But she is the one who's having to take control over this and doing this on her own, and with the way that she should be doing it before they can. I keep hearing like this, they can. Before they can. I don't know who are they, but before they can, grab a hold of it, like get a hold of all that shit, and she knows better. So we're gonna expect her to be. We should be expecting her to be more vocal about the album, or just like giving out a little few hints and teasing and shit like that. But until she gets everything right, and like gets everything under control and really like starts working even more on everything that she is working on and she's heading towards, we're going to have to be patient because she is still indecisive and she is still trying to grow more comfortable and more into herself and clocks herself out of her own shell when it comes to her artistry and creativity. We're going to have to do with like all the bits and pieces that she's throwing our way, like the same way that we were used to actually doing so and just making fun of the situation and taking it lightheartedly until she is finally ready to be pushing herself you know so the holdup is, in a way, or was in a way herself and just her focus on wanting to, better her relationship and strengthen it and just have like her family and do everything of that sort. But also her just saying or like responding to the industry and all the slime or like grimy shit that they were doing to her and that she was like dealing with because like I'm here like I've given all my years to that shit, grace for the opportunities, but what has it really like truly given me? And now that she's finally like having her family, it is none but her choice to actually decide, whether or not she is wanting to finally just put herself back in there. And now with all this shit that started to get a little bit into her head and into her feelings, and that's made her just really just like, how dare they, like the fucking audacity. Now she is finally going to be starting to like, stand up and giddy up in order for her to actually like start tapping more into that musicality, like the artistry of her own self, and just like to put herself out there again. So it's going to take her some time, but it wouldn't be like too long. I'm here like 2 to 3 years, give or take. But she's gonna get there eventually, and you're going to see what is going to happen. So this is just a quick reading on Rihanna and where is she when it comes to her career, singing, her singing one and singing wise and artistically speaking. And once it's going to be like the time to actually do a reading on the new era and the next era, then I'm going to do the reading and post it soon. But until then, we're going to have to do with this little update, one of the first readings of many on Rihanna, and may we meet up in another one. Bye bye.